I would like to add my own personal apologies to the apologies that James and Rupert Murdoch have made today. Clearly, what happened at the News of the World, and certainly when the allegations of voicemail intercepts of victims of crime, is pretty horrific and abhorrent. So I just wanted to reiterate that.
So until you saw the evidence which was produced in the Sienna Miller case, you continued to believe that the only person in the News of the World who had been implicated in phone hacking was Clive Goodman?
Well, I think if just the sequence of events. So in 2009, I think was the first time that all of us, and I know some members of the committee have spent a long time on this story and looking at the whole sequence of events, so I know you all know it pretty well, but just to reiterate, in 2009, when we heard about when the Gordon Taylor story appeared in The Guardian, I think that's when information unravelled, but very, very slowly. I mean, we had conducted many internal investigations. I know you spent a lot of time talking to James and Rupert Murdoch about them, but we had been told by people at the News of the World at the time, had consistently denied any of these allegations in various internal investigations, and it was only when we saw the Sienna Miller documentation that we realised that of the severity of the situation.
How extensively did you work with private detectives?
The News of the World employed private detectives like most newspapers in Fleet Street.
So it's fair to say that you were aware of and approved payments to private detectives?
I was aware the News of the World used private detectives under my editorship of the News of the World, yes.
And so you would have approved payments to them?
That's not how it works, but I was aware that we used them.
Who would have approved the payments?
So the payment system in a newspaper, which has been discussed at length, is very simply the editor's job is to acquire the overall budget for the paper from the senior management. Once that budget is acquired, it is given to the managing editor to allocate to different departments. Each person in that department has a different level of authorisation, but the final payments are authorised by the managing editor, unless there is a particularly big item, a set of photographs or something that needs to be discussed on a wider level, and then the editor will be brought in.
In 2009, you said that you did not recall meeting Glenn Mulcair. You'll appreciate that this is an inadequate answer under the circumstances. We require a specific response to our questions. Did you ever have any contact, directly or through others, with Glenn Mulcair?
None whatsoever.
Would your former diary secretary, Michelle, be able to confirm that?
Michelle?
Former diary secretary?
I've had a PA for 19 years called Cheryl.
Okay. Well, would your diary secretary, your PA, would be able to confirm?
Absolutely.
Does she hold your diary for the last 19 years?
No, she probably doesn't. We don't keep back 19 years, but she will. She may have something back from then. I don't know.
Would it be on a paper format or an electronic format?
Well, look, I never met. I did not meet Mr. Mulcair.
I'm talking about your diary. Is it on an electronic format or a paper format?
It would have been on a paper format until very recently.
Okay. And do you think Glenn Mulcair would deny that he ever met you?
I'm sure he would. Although, yes, it's the truth.
Okay. Were you aware of the arrangement News Group newspapers had with Mulcair whilst you were editor of News of the World and the Sun?
No.
So you didn't know what he did?
I didn't know particularly Glenn Mulcair was one of the detectives that was used by the News of the World, no.
Didn't know he was on the payroll?
No. In fact, I first heard Glenn Mulcair's name in 2006.
Did you receive any information that originated from Glenn Mulcair or his methods?
What, to me?
You?
To me personally?
You as editor. Did anyone bring you information as a result of Glenn Mulcair's methods?
I mean, look, I know it's an entirely appropriate question, but I can only keep saying the same answer. I didn't know Glenn Mulcair I'd never heard the name until 2006. There were other private investigators that I did know about and had heard about, but he wasn't one of them.